Hey, I'm Paul with Rack Attack, and this is the RockyMounts BackStage hitch-mounted bicycle carrier. Here we have installed onto this vehicle that's equipped with a 2-inch receiver hitch. This is a platform carrier that has full swing-out capability, and it also has tilt-down capability. We currently have 2 bikes loaded. We'll remove those 2 bikes, remove the rack, show you how the rack's installed onto the vehicle, and go over all the various features that make this rack unique. So let's start with this outside bike. This is a road bike we have installed. This rack can accommodate road bikes, mountain bikes, e-bikes, a wide range of different bikes, although it does not work with bikes that have front fenders, so bear that in mind. So first bike is off. So here we have a mountain bike. You can see how these wheel trays can accommodate different thicknesses in the tire sizes. So it can accommodate anywhere from a standard mountain bike all the way up to a 5-inch wide tire. And it can achieve that using this add-on strap, which simply connects to the existing strap and extends the length, enabling the ability to carry all the way up to a 5-inch wide tire. 2 of those are included. Now I'll go ahead and take off the front hook there, and now we have both bicycles unloaded. And next, let's go ahead and put the rack into the stowed position so I can bring down this back section of the front wheel cradle and pivot the arm out of the way. Same thing for this other one. And then I'll grab the blue handle to lift the platform into that stowed position, and it automatically connects into that stowed position. Now I currently don't have it actually tightened on, so let's go ahead and take the rack off and I'll show you how the tightening mechanism works. Okay, so for starters, you have the 2-inch stinger, you have a threaded hitch pin, and that threaded hitch pin engages with a wedge that's on the inside that'll push this ball bearing up against the upper portion of the receiver. So this will provide both horizontal and vertical anti-wobble on this rack. And since this ball is near the corner, that is a third point of access to where it's holding it into the receiver in a 3-axis position. Construction-wise, this is all steel construction, minus the cradles that are plastic and some of the other plastic parts, but the majority is steel construction with a durable black powder coat finish. The rack weighs in at 59 pounds. Let's go ahead and put the rack back into the hitch. To do so, it's always best to do that with the rack in this stowed right angle position. And go ahead and just insert the stinger into the receiver and begin moving it forward. Now what we want to do with this hitch pin is insert that through the hole of the receiver hitch and begin pushing forward. And you'll notice, because this rack has more weight out to the side due to the SwingAway assembly here, we want to kind of lift in a balanced way as we push inward, using that hitch pin as a feeler. And so I'm going to thread that on as far as I can with my fingers to ensure that I haven't cross-threaded it and there's no excess friction on it. And then I'll use the tool that's included to get that good and tight. Now, if you have your own tool, you would need either a 3/4 inch or a 19mm socket to tighten that up with the convenience of a ratchet. Now you'll notice here we've got an excessive amount of play, both horizontally and vertically, but once this is tight, that will pull the rack snug against the side with the threaded bolt, and that ball bearing will push against the top of the hitch, providing that 3-axis anti-wobble. So now you have stiffness side to side and up and down. So there'll be no play in that interface whatsoever. Okay, so next we can go ahead and show the lock mechanism. So here you have, on the opposite side of the receiver, you have the security of a steel lock mechanism that you can simply just snap into place onto the end of that hitch pin and cover it with the rubber to provide good weather protection. And now you have security for the lower portion of the stinger to your receiver hitch. And as we come up a little higher, you can see we have another point that could potentially be a security concern, because you could disconnect that one bolt to remove the upper platform, but also we have a second lock mechanism to provide that as a theft deterrent as well. Now, before we load the bikes, let's go ahead and just demonstrate the swing out feature. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this knob, and without the bikes on, you can see this very clearly. You loosen that knob, lift this other blue knob here, and that allows the entire platform to swing out to the side. It also has a pivot so that once you get close to the side of the vehicle, you can rotate that out of the way. So all the touch points, meaning all the areas that you'll have interaction with, are blue, and that's a good indicator of where to grab the handle and what knob to click. So here again, if you look on this back side, in order to bring the entire rack back, you have another blue handle. And what that's going to do is prevent the rack from swinging back on its own if you're parked on a slope. Okay, so, and as I do that, here's the other handle. I'll pivot this back, and then we bring it all back together. And in the inside here, you can see you have a threaded connection, and that is where that this blue handle will thread into. And so what that does is that brings this half and this half of the mechanism all together, so it acts as one solid piece. So you just tighten that by hand, and so you can see there's movement now, but that will all go away. So now it's completely rigid in all those different connection points. Now, while we have the rack in this position, you can also see here you have 4 bolts per tray. So each tray has the ability to adjust side to side in order to get the very best possible positioning between the bikes. So we've left this one loose so you can see that action, and that allows you to easily move the tray back and forth to get the best positioning between your bikes. Okay, so I'll go ahead and, of course, that would need to be tightened up once you've found that position. We have it loose here for demonstration purposes. Okay, so now I'll bring the rack into the carrying position, and I'll go ahead and prepare the rack to get it ready to accept the bikes that we'll be loading. And so I'll move this arm to the outside with the hook fully extended and bring back into place the backstop. And then I want to go ahead and press this blue button to release the strap. I'm going to tuck it right there so it's out of my way. And here also, while we're looking, you can see you've got the wide area there for those tires all the way up to 5-inch. And then you have this narrow section for narrow road bike tires, so it can hold both equally well. Also, this pivots so that it can accommodate bicycle wheelbases in a wide range without having to manually slide a cradle back and forth. As you set the bicycle down onto this pivoting cradle, it'll automatically adjust to the wheelbase all the way up to 50 inches. Okay, so let's go ahead and load that bike back on. One tip for loading bikes: when you have to lift a bike to a tall height, instead of grabbing a comfortable position here to lift, instead first get down low in order to get a low stable point on the bike, and then when you stand up, you're just about all the way to the height that you need to be. Requires much less arm strength. Okay, so the first thing is stabilize the bike by getting the ratcheting hole down into place onto onto the tire. Make sure the front wheel is fully braced up against the backstop there, and get the hook as close to the first point of contact without it actually making any contact. And then once it's there, give it a good firm click, and of course make sure your tires are fully inflated. Okay, now to the back, it automatically adjusted to that wheelbase of that bike, and I just insert the ratchet, pull that snug, and that bike is set to transport. Let's do the same thing again. This will be for the road bike. Same thing, just down low on the bike, stand up, and it's all the way up there. And here you can see how that front wheel on this narrow road bike tire fits very securely within that thinner section of the cradle. Okay, same thing, close to the fork but not touching. Get a good firm grip on that. And at the back here, once again, it's automatically adjusted to that length of the wheelbase. Now the only thing I may want to do is rotate the tire slightly in order to have a good space between the spokes. And now we have the other bike fully loaded. Okay, now with them fully loaded, now we can also check the access feature that's available. I'll pull this lever and then tilt the rack down. Let me, okay, tilt the rack down. And this gives you access into the back of most vehicles. It can depend on the positioning of your pedals. So let's try that again with the pedal out of the way. Okay. And it clears the handlebars. And this bicycle has very wide handlebars. So that's a good sign. If it works on this combination, it's likely to work on majority of hitch combinations. Okay, so we'll go ahead and bring that back up into position. Automatically will snap back into that position there. Now let's go ahead and do the swing out feature with the bikes loaded. So I'll loosen this turn knob once again. And with that knob, you'll know it's completely loose when you can actually pull it and you feel some spring tension there. And now I'll reach underneath and lift up on that blue knob. I'll begin to bring the rack platform around. And at this point, I can go ahead and begin the pivot. And now once again, you have total access into the back of the vehicle. And this should be the case on the majority of hitch-hatch combinations. Okay, now to bring this back, don't forget we have this blue knob here, which is going to help to prevent the rack from moving if it's parked on a slope. And then I'll go ahead and start bringing it back and pivot it back into position. So as you can see, there's multiple ways to gain access into the back of any given vehicle, and very little effort required in order to do that. Okay, so we're all hitched back up. Now lastly, there is a security cable that's included, and this cable is a heavy-duty steel braided cable with a vinyl coating to help to be protective, and also it has a loop end and a locking end. So what we want to do is, in order to get the maximum length out of this cable, is create a lasso effect. So I'll take that lock end through the loop end, get it around the front wheel on this bike and the frame, and then I can get it through the other bike and its front wheel. And now this goes down to that connection point that we looked at earlier, where we've connected the upper lock mechanism there. Let me take the key, access the, okay, so now that's open. We have a good sturdy steel connector. And now we have the two bikes locked as well. Okay, so Those are all the key features of the RockyMounts BackStage hitch mount platform carrier. This product and the full line of RockyMount products are available at rackattack.com. Please see the link in the video description for all your buying options. If you have any questions or comments on this particular rack, feel free to leave those in the comments section below, and consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. We have over 2,000 rack-related videos, and we upload new videos weekly. That's all for this one, and thanks for watching. Okay.